y'all folks doing? Welcome to the cable company. This is my NASA, and I'd like to dedicate this to all the Rocketeers out there, and Bob and Tony Rebels. They passed on, but they was in the Apollo mission. They was Rocketeers, and I want to dedicate this to them and my Lisa. Lisa was an organ donor, and she didn't want to be. There's Lisa's grandbaby law. Let's get it out there. Let everybody look at it. Hey, it's got to be tweaked. I messed up on it. You say anybody with education can see that when the doctors and nurses need to be professional in the patient's room too. I think, but I don't know. All my computers keep tearing up. I lost the information, but let's move along, okay? Because the time goes away from me quick. This is right here. This is the event's Saturn launch. This is the Complex 39. Okay, you see that? Complex 39. I told you I was going to tell you about the Saturn. This is the Saturn 5. If you see that right there, the Saturn 5. It's just got this little bit right here. I'll read. Well, you see, there it is, right there. Isn't that? That's a beautiful ship. That right there is I think that was the best ship we had for getting us up into space. With the declaration by the President Kennedy in May 1961 of the national goal to land men on the moon and return them to Earth by 1970. The United States undertook what is perhaps its most ambitious peacetime scientific program, to launch a manned spacecraft that will carry men to the moon and return them to Earth. The National Aeronautics and Space Administration is developing Saturn V, a launch vehicle that will have the capability of ejecting a 200,000-pound payload into low Earth orbit and boosting 90,000 pounds to escape velocity. Saturn V will also have the capability of serving as a launch vehicle for lunar and lunar orbital missions, lunar logistic missions, establishing manned space stations, nuclear reactor in-flight tests, and launching spacecraft for interplanetary probes. Saturn V will be a three-stage space vehicle with an Apollo spacecraft, such as will be used in the manned lunar landing program on top. It will be 360 feet high, loaded with fuel. It will weigh 3,000 tons. The first stage of the Saturn V, the 5 or the S1C, will be 138 feet long and 33 feet in diameter. Its cluster of 5 F1 engines fueled by RP-1 kerosene and liquid oxygen will develop 7,500,000 pounds of thrust. The second stage of the Saturn V, the 511, will be 82 feet long and 33 feet in diameter. Its cluster of 5 J2 engines fueled by liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen will develop 1 million pounds of thrust. The third stage of Saturn V, the 5B, will be 59 feet long and 22 feet in diameter. Its simple J2 engine, fueled by liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen, will develop 200,000 pounds of thrust. It will have restart capabilities and altitude control for lunar and orbital flights. On a manned lunar landing mission, burn of the first and second stages and partial burn of the third stage will be required to eject the Apollo spacecraft into Earth's orbit. After the first burn of the third stage with the Apollo attached, the space vehicle will coast around the Earth in a parking orbit. After the first burn of the third stage with the Apollo attached, the space vehicle will coast around the Earth in the parking orbit. The third stage will be to put the space vehicle in a trajectory to the moon. The third stage will be jettisoned, and the Apollo will continue on to an orbit around the moon. The Apollo command and service modules with one astronaut will remain in orbit. The lunar excursion module with two astronauts will land on the moon. After exploration, the lunar launch module will be launched to the rendezvous with the other modules. Then the Apollo will carry the astronauts to a landing back on Earth. Oh, that's pretty neat, isn't it? You better get on now. I'm going to knock you out. That's Saturn 1. This one here. Fact sheet. National Aeronautics and Space Administration Launch Operations Center. And an Apollo spacecraft. And then Saturn is the largest space vehicle under advanced development in the United States and is the first large rocket vehicle especially designed for scientific space programs and manned space flight. It is capable of sending large payloads into Earth's orbit, to the moon, and into deep space. Saturn 1 is an early configuration designed for vehicle qualification and development of the Apollo spacecraft system. The initial flight of Saturn 1 was conducted on October 27, 1961. Launches of standard nose cones and boilerplate models of the Apollo spacecraft atop Saturn 1 will be conducted to confirm aerodynamic stability of the configuration. Later, Saturn 1 will boost Apollo spacecraft into Earth's orbit. The first stage of Saturn 1 is identified as S1 or 5-1. It's a cluster of 8 H1 engines develop 1.5 million pounds of thrust. The engines burn RP-1 kerosene and liquid oxygen. The second stage, identified as the S15, that's the 4-4, is powered by a cluster of 6 RL10-A3 liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen engines capable of developing 90,000 pounds of thrust. Saturn 1 statistics. The diameter is 21.5 feet. Its height is 82 feet. And the S4 stage is 18 feet by 41 feet. It's a total of 171 feet tall. And there you go. And there, when I say there's your fact. There's your fact sheet. And then you gotta remember now, the fact, facts gonna change. That's why I like to say theoretically, because really it's like Plato all my life it was a dang a planet. Now we know it's a dwarf planet. They got it set up for. This is I believe this is the this is the launch of the Saturn. I might have showed you that one already. The Saturn. Did I show you this Thor? This is the Thor right there. It says, attention, Douglas, okay, that's, of course, I can't really read it. Okay, well, I showed you I was going to leave that to you later. I will. We got this one right here. Let me show you this here. And this is the battle. This is like the satellite that they send up there. And this is some old pictures that I got. If you can look at that and see that. There you go. And this is this right here is this is a National Aeronautics and Space Administration. This is launch of That's a Persian missile alert. I don't know what that. I don't know what that is. Some kind of news that they were tracking. That's why they're right now. This is an aerial photo showing Saturn dock area. They got worried about drones now. They dropped a whole bunch of leaflets on the NFL. Did you hear about that? I read that somewhere. Area photo of Saturn dock area. There's another one. This one I got more on it. And here, look at here it is again. And there you go. Let's see if you can see that. And on the back, it's got the. This artist is, and then this is pretty neat. Here, this is an old picture right there. And this is it says Air Force Test Center, Patrick Air Force Base. They don't really say nothing. I can't read what it says. It's dimmed out. Okay, North American Aviation Incorporation, Missile Development Division, Inter-Office Letter only. All, what's that? XSM-64 Project Personal. MAG Robinson, 553. Fourth flight of XSM-64 Fly-By program. 13 January 1958. The last flight of the XSM-64 Fly-By program was a great success. Its success is a direct result of the fine work that all of you have done, and I wish to take this opportunity to thank you for your efforts and to say that I am extremely proud to have had the opportunity to work with such a competent group of personnel. Michael A.G. Robinson, XSM-64 Project Manager. And that's I just love. It doesn't matter what you'll see me smile when you do. Well, yeah, it's about history. If it's about history, I'm in there. I like it. Any kind of history. That's right there. Will you stop it, please? Okay. Don't you see I'm trying to do something here? Okay, people. This is some of the crew there that was working there. And that's there he is. Hey, please stop. Okay, guys. Mitchell No Senior, 301 Harbor Valley Road, Toccoa, Georgia, 30577. Hey, come get you a puppy. You want a puppy? Come get you a puppy, man. Tell me what's on your mind. I'll tell you what's on mine, okay? Y'all come back and see me. I can't wait till the dog goes to sleep. I have enjoyed this, but don't forget about this Lisa grandbaby law. Let's get it signed into law, and then we don't have to worry about it. And their souls can go on, and I'll catch up with her later, I guess. Come on back and see me. Bye-bye.